guys and gals, Never here from Drake Wayne Gaming. Some of you might sort of the Gaming Drag today. I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Conway, Wolf's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm changer up, and let's go. Oh. Have you ever done this before? Let's see. Yes. Of course, my mom taught me one year during the quieter winter months. It would be quite a bit of a stupid lie, wouldn't it? You'd find out immediately as soon as I start messing up. I'd like to think I'm a bit smarter than that. Wolf scans you intently for a few seconds, testing whether you're lying to him and would crumble under his scrutiny. Eventually, his gaze softens, apparently satisfied with your answer. I figured you would be, but... He doesn't finish the sentence, but you assume it would have included Julian as a case study for stupidity somewhere in it. At least in Wolf's eyes. He sits up straight and begins to pull his shirt free from his belt. Your head snaps to him almost by itself as you turn to watch him. Well, whether it was planned or not, you are going to get your wish to see a little more of the canine. A small black band around his upper arm is also quickly undone and placed neatly in his lap before he pulls the plain shirt over his head with practiced ease. The fur around his neck catches on the collar of his shirt, giving you the rather adorable-looking view of it all bunched up all around his head. Who knew the big bad wolf could look so silly, even if only for a brief second? No laughing now, keep your cool. Ooh. Okay. Silliness is quickly replaced by how good he looks once his shirt is completely off. You hadn't realized him to be that toned underneath his loose shirt. The black fur shimmers with brilliant blue highlights when the light reflects off of it just right, revealing the dance of shifting muscles when he moves. He holds out the crumpled shirt to you, and you voicelessly take it, unable to take your eyes off of him. Once you do finally manage to tear your eyes away, you begin to unfold it in front of you, and look for the different frayed sections. You do look pretty good. Don't make it weird again. Just go and fix the shirt like you said you would. Hey, I didn't make this weird the first time. Julian did. You're the one who asked about my sex life. Not that the lizard isn't an idiot, but... He trails off and sighs. I just want this bit done, alright? Alright, I'll keep my muzzle shut. It's a strange feeling having Wolf be so oddly compliant in this situation. You expect him to turn you the cold shoulder, perhaps even threaten you, but... This is nice. You turn your head to catch another glimpse. The soft evening breeze gently moves his deep black fur as Wolf looks up at the sky above the sails. As much as you try to keep your mind from wandering, it was impossible not to imagine him with even less clothing than this. Your thoughts inevitably pull you towards the idea of asking him if he could fix his breeches, too. Imagining him agreeing to it in his ragged voice, how he'd step out of them, his backside, his sheath. Would he raise his tail when he bends over to step out of them? You shake your head to clear it thoroughly. You really are in good shape. Didn't I just tell you not to make it weird? I'm not going to. I was just saying that your clothes didn't give it away, and I was wondering what you were doing before you joined the ship. Certainly not how the typical baker or street vendor looks like. Hell, you probably put the Royal Guardsmen to shame. Odds and ends, wherever someone was needed, I'd be the one around. Being on this ship is no different. They need a pair of hands, I need the money. He shrugs and looks over to check your progress, and having made none yet, you immediately begin to push the needle through the fabric. Ugh. It's like you weren't afraid to go for the most strenuous day jobs, then. I'm a sailor now, am I not? You laugh, realizing the obvious answer to your observation. Thank you. Good coffee. Good coffee. Another stitch follows as you work your way along the frayed seam, beginning to bring it back together. Soon enough, the first one is fixed. You check how the seam looks on the outside as well before giving it a quick tug to make sure it doesn't fall apart at the first sign of stress. Satisfied with your work, you scan the shirt for other spots and start working on a second developing hole as you come across it. Being a day laborer must have gotten you around then, if it has taken you all the way to France. The canine's ears swivel before he glances over, his silver eyes catching the light for a moment. You catch the slight rise of his lips before he speaks. Briefly. As succinct as ever. What brought you here? Work. Come on now, I know that. Just share a little bit more with me, will you? I remember, I'm holding your shirt hostage right now. You better tell me something about yourself or I'll, I don't know, sew some hearts or flowers into it or something. I wouldn't do that if I were you. I'll explain what a joke is someday. You lean over and give him a playful push. Just tell me, damn it, what's with the secrecy? Are you some assassin sent to kill a king in a far-off land? What's the worst that could happen? That everyone finds out how you spent a few weeks picking grapes in a French vineyard? Oh no, what a tragedy. The wolf has enough dexterity to actually pick the grapes without crushing them like bugs. Not the worst sight to imagine. Either you decide either. Not the worst sight to imagine either, as you decide as you peek over to him again, raising his arms to pick the grapes. How his shoulders would move, or the tension in his arms as he's carrying a basket that's filled to the brim with them. If only your family had hired him as a farmhand, perhaps you would have stayed home if you had gotten this sight every day. We were visiting someone. You wait a few seconds to see if Wolf will continue, pulling the needle through the fabric once again. And... come on, don't make every conversation with you an ordeal like I'm pulling your teeth. There really is nothing more to it. We went there to visit someone. Worked for a while and we were there. Worked for a while while we were there. Who are we? A few friends of mine. We travel together a lot because, well, you get more work when you have a whole team ready that is used to working together. But between you and the lizard, they were just looking for one more new worker here. What about you? Me? Yes, you're from a farmer's family, aren't you? Taught you to sew, too. He nods at your pause as you work on the last hole you found. You can't quite tell if the question stems from genuine interest or if Wolf just wants to avoid being questioned further. Always difficult to tell with him. Yes, helped my father. He learned from his father who learned from his. You get the idea. My family never knew anything else as far as I know, and I was bound to be settled with it as well. Like, you know? Just the next in line. I wanted something else. What could be more something else than this? You motioned to your surroundings for emphasis with a smile on your face. Mm-hmm. With the last hole repaired, you inspected his shirt one last time. A testing tug, a close look. All done. You cut the tread with your teeth and proudly raised the shirt in front of you, giving it one final inspection from a distance. Looks good to me. That one's gone, the big one. You can still see that it's been tinkered with, but it's much better now. It's much better than before. You showed it off to him, too. First the front, then the back. You don't get a lot of emotion in return, just a simple nod for a job well done. You hand him his shirt and fiddling with it until it's the right way around. He puts his first arm in. Oh! Is that an armadillo? That's a dilla. A knock on the wooden barrels draws your attention away from Wolf, and you notice another sailor standing next to you. He's carrying a bundle of hastily rolled-up clothes under his arm. Yo, I just saw you stitching his shirt, right? Oh, I guess, and you are? Oh, Walden's the name. I wanted to ask if you could fix some of my stuff as well. What? He pats the pile of clothes he's carrying around. I messed up in port, forgot to visit the tailor before we left. It's not a lot, just a tear on the trousers. One shirt has, well, it's got a few holes. The other shirt should be quick though. Torres threw it at me, but when I mentioned you, he said some fraying somewhere. I haven't checked it myself. I'm not a tailor, though. I just learned a few basics from my parents, and he just had a emotion to Wolf, but interrupted by the other sailor before you could finish your sentence. Come on, it's just these three things, and we're working on the same ship. Can't have your other crew members looking like recently escaped prisoners, can you? I'd do the same for you if the roles were reversed. Oh. You go over to Wolf for help, but all you see is that the second arm slips into the newly fixed shirt. Before you know it, your view of his shapely black chest has been taken away again. With everything tucked neatly back into his belt, he grabs the top of the barrel he is leaning against and pulls himself up onto his paws. I mean, I suppose I could. Wolf, you're gonna keep me company? Wolf? What are you... It's getting a bit too busy for me. I'll go get some rest before the next shift. What? You can't just leave now. I've got to sort him out, too. One of his ears flicks into disinterest. His broad black paw passes in front of your face as he carefully steps out of the corner and past you and the other sailor. That doesn't sound like work I'm needed for. Before long, he disappears behind the barrels as he makes his way across the deck. You lean forward to call after him. Wolf, wait! All you see is his hand raised in a wave. Oh, and thank you. Both you and the other sailor look after the wolf as he disappears towards the back of the ship. Well, looks like you'll be busy during your break. Day 12. Cold water comes crashing over you in an instant. The force of it pulls you down. Deeper. Deeper. The surface of the sea disappears, leaving a pitch-black, oppressive oblivion. The water forces you to gasp, shocked, and the world returning in a flash as you force your eyes open. You scramble. Your back bumps onto something. Drenched and beginning to shiver as the wind chills your body. The salt water stings your eyes, nose, and even your sensitive ears are not spared the irritation. The sun hasn't even made it above the horizon yet, leaving the person in front of you as nothing but a silhouette. Fuck! You get Wolf's low, guttural snarl almost reverberating through your ears. You feel the primal chill of your fur standing on end, or at least as well as it can, after just having been drenched with water. Get up! You don't think. You act on instinct, rising from the sodden ground as fast as your sleep-ridden body allows, simply following the orders barked at you. Wolf doesn't wait for you to come to your senses and rushes toward the bell. Seconds later, its piercing chime fills the air. All hands on deck now! It's strange to hear Wolf actually raise his voice. He never shouted, even when he was pissed off. At most, whoever was the target of his ire would get snarled words dripping with threats of violence. When you hear his urgency, it feels so out of place that you realize something must be amiss. There's not a moment's hesitation when the call comes, and one by one the crewmen make their way from the deck below into the open. You see Arthur make his way over to speak to Wolf before the canine hurries back to you. What's going on? You were asleep. Yes, and you couldn't have woken me up more gently? Want me to serve you breakfast too? Why did you call all hands on deck? Are you even allowed to do that? Another snarl comes as he grips your arm tightly and turns you to face the bow of the ship, pointing off into the distance with a clawed finger. Beyond the tip of his claw, you see it. A cloud. Not just any, but a thunderhead. He catches you putting the pieces together. Yeah. The sleep-induced haze evaporates in an instant as your eyes lock onto the towering mass at the horizon. Shit, I was on weather watch! Generous to call what you were doing a weather watch. As he speaks, you hear Arthur shout a command to coordinate the crew. All hands away! Lads, it's time to earn your pay. Get your hands on the braces, ease the sheets, and close reef the sails. Top men to the main topgallants. Rest of you to the main upper topsail. As the crew springs into action, not a single breath is wasted. They scale the shroud with practiced efficiency to carry out the orders. Wolf wastes no time either, leaving you on the deck to ascend alongside the others. They all turn into dark silhouettes, dimly outlined against the twilight sky. You know you blundered, and you know Arthur will not be happy about it. Yet despite the consequences, you do step up to face him. I sincerely apologize, sir. I should have reported the cloud earlier. I do not care right now. What I do, however, care about is the question of why you aren't up there with the others yet. Don't tell me that not only have you lost your sight, but your hearing along with it. You know him well enough, and are smart enough not to open your muzzle again and let your actions speak instead. Alright, I'm going to pause it right there, y'all. Alright, thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for all I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silver, and thank you but above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our 3 gold tier patrons, Zeke, Toby, and Blue Wolf Alpha. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if you want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our Safe for Work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I shall see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!